This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Yep. So the Cleveland Browns, they got some bad news, man. Like, there's no way around it. There's no way to sugarcoat this. This is legitimately just not what you want to hear before a game. Browns are out 17 players and coaches on the COVID list alone. They got some players on injury reserve. Well, not injury reserve, but on the injury report that still, aren't guaranteed to play. But just when we talk about the COVID list, they got 17 players on that thing. It is a major outbreak in here. Now, they're not the only team that has it, but they're the only team that's playing on Saturday that does. So, it's real unfortunate. Just when you thought this team was starting to have some good luck with how the playoff situation was shaking out, with how this team was starting to, get it together defensively at least. It seemed like the stars were aligning, right, for the Browns to make some kind of wild miracle playoff chase or something like that, right, where we're legitimately like one game away from being in the playoff race for real. Like, if the Ravens lose to Green Bay and the Browns win on Saturday, Browns are in first place in the AFC North. They're the 4th seed. If the Colts lose to the Patriots, which is likely, the Browns are the 7th seed. Like, that's and the Browns, obviously, if they win too, the Browns would be the 7th seed. But honestly, I think even if the Browns lose, like, it might shake out. Like, I don't know how it shakes out. I don't know how it shakes out yet. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It is absolutely unfortunate. Now let's talk about who's on this list, right? Because maybe it's not the biggest names in the world. Maybe it's all on offense. We ain't been getting anything on offense anyway, so it might not matter that much. Who's on this list? John Johnson's on this list. Troy Hill is on this list. Malik McDowell is on this list. Jarvis Landry on this list. Wyatt Teller on this list. Austin Hooper on this list. Jedrick Wills. Tack McKinley. JoJo Natson. Drew Forts. Ross Travis. They just added Baker Mayfield to this list. Ifedi Odendebo on this list. And Kevin Stefanski is officially on this list. Now, again, my first thought when I saw all these players hit the COVID list is to think about the Jets game last year, right? Because in that Jets game last year, the Browns legitimately lost all their wide receivers to contact tracing. And it was a game the Browns needed to win to be able to guarantee their playoff spot before they had to play Pittsburgh. They did not get that win. And, they ended up having to do what they did, where they beat Pittsburgh 2 times in a row. But honestly, this is a little worse because I think this is more players. And last year, it was just contact tracing that got people out because, before we had the vaccine, if you were just close to somebody who had COVID, we had to assume you had COVID, so you couldn't play, right? Like, this year, it's a little different. A lot of these guys are vaccinated, so they could be back technically, right? If they test negative 2 times before the game. I think the deadline will probably be Thursday night for that, or maybe they might be lenient and let you go Friday morning, Saturday morning, but you need 2 negative tests before you can play. It's coming up. And, the vaccine has done a lot of good, but one thing it does not do is reduce the amount of time that you have COVID, or at least for what I know. And it doesn't stop you from getting COVID. It does mitigate the symptoms, right? And the good news about that, right, is, man, 17 players, if they had COVID, like, that's devastating because we saw what that disease did to Myles Garrett and how long it took him to get his breath back and look like Myles Garrett again after he had gotten COVID-19. He talked about he had to go to do some breathing coaches and, like, really rebuild his lungs and all that. It was, horrifying stuff to hear about if you ever read his article about, what he dealt with COVID and the fact that we have a couple of offensive linemen. We know that people who are bigger tend to deal with the worst symptoms when they come to get this. Hopefully everybody is vaccinated so we don't have to worry about the long-term effects of getting COVID, the serious kind of side effects like a Myles Garrett had last year. And it's just more of a little bit of an annoyance, right? That's kind of the hope here. But yeah, man, 17 players and coaches actually got it. That's wild, man. That's wild. And it's super unfortunate. It comes at a terrible, no good time. Also, we got to talk about the Browns injury report, right? Because I think Jadeveon Clowney practiced, so that's good. But Troy Hill, he didn't practice. He's on the list. He's probably not going to play. Kareem Hunt, he's already been ruled out by Kevin Stefanski. He's not going to play. Malik Jackson, we don't know if he's going to play. Greg Newsome, we don't know if he's going to play. Anthony Schwartz, we don't know if he's going to play. So this team is decimated by a little bit by injury, but they're really decimated by the COVID list right now. Now, defensively, I think they'll be fine enough, right? If everybody on that list does not play, it's going to stink a little bit, but you still got Denzel Ward. You might get Greg Newsome back. You could just put in Ronnie Harrison for John Johnson. You'll be fine there. Troy Hill, you have to put in MJ Stewart. It's not the greatest situation in the world, but it's not like you're playing the Bengals, who have 3 great receivers. The Raiders aren't that deep at receiver, even though they're decent at receiver. Ultimately, you still got Myles Garrett, you still got Jadeveon Clowney, right? And as long as you got those two, you got a chance. Offensively, look, man, this is going to sound like an untimely time to say this about the offense. Offensively, look, I'm just going to be real with y'all. Yeah, Case Keenum going to be out there. Yeah, most of the offensive line going to be out there. Yeah, you don't have many receivers or tight ends. But how many points did you really expect this offense to give you? Hopefully they give us 14 points. It's going to be a defensive battle this week, right? The defense has to win this game. It's going to be on the defense. And honestly, it's been on the defense for the last month. So nothing's really changed on that front. It would be nice to have Baker out there. It would be nice to have Kareem Hunt out there. It would obviously be nice to have Jarvis Landry out there, but we really haven't utilized those players that much on the offensive side of the ball. So there's that at least, right? But yeah, man, they're decimated by this whole situation. And it sucks, right? Because again, realistic chance to take first place with Green Bay and the Patriots playing 2 teams that you need to lose games. I mean, that's a great situation. And all you have to do is beat a team that, they're not a bad team, but they're definitely a team that's on a similar level to you that you don't feel like you have to do anything extraordinary to beat against. But now, that math kind of changes. We'll see what happens here in the long term. We'll see what happens after Thursday. But right now, I mean, it's not a great situation. I'm trying to think of some good. Maybe we get to settle some debates. Case Keenum finally gets to be out there again. Y'all can get excited about that. People who are excited about Case Keenum, people who want Alex Van Pelt also to call plays. He'll be calling plays more than likely. Keep in mind, this team has not practiced all week, and that's really what concerns me because the last time they didn't practice all week was the Patriots game, and we all know how that one went. But yeah, man, the Browns are in a tough situation for a must-win game. And, it's up to them to make the best out of this situation, right? If they can win this game, given all of this stuff that is going on, then they'll be in really good position going forward. Excellent position going forward. Because, yeah, you play the Packers, but you can lose that game against the Packers because they're an NFC team. They don't factor into AFC tiebreakers. And then you got the Steelers and the Bengals. Steelers are a team you can beat. The Bengals are a team you already have beaten. You beat both those teams and you beat the Raiders. Legitimately, you're probably going to make the playoffs, right? That's more than likely that you're going to make the playoffs. So still, Browns are in great position, but they're going to have to find a way to claw one out and get a real scrappy win here. And that's probably how they're going to have to beat the Raiders, right? They're going to have to get real scrappy with the Raiders, right? They're going to have to ground and pound. They're going to have to run out some trick plays. In the video that I'm going to upload tomorrow, I was supposed to upload today, I was talking about the Browns offense is legitimately so bad that we have to go to trick plays anyway, and that we have to go to like funky formations. But, I'm not joking. The Browns might have to bust out some triple option if they've practiced it before, or, just straight run the veer. Like, I don't know, the wishbone, whatever they're going to do, just have Dearness Johnson and Nick Chubb on the field every play and just run the ball. Like, that's really what they can do right now, because they got no offensive line to block, whether you think Case Keenum can play quarterback or not. Like, they're out the left tackle. They have already been down to their third string tackle on the right side, right? And they're out Wyatt Teller, and they're out Drew Forbes, who is Wyatt Teller's backup. So, like, who knows who's going to be on that offensive line? Like, I don't know. Hopefully, like, if anybody can come back off this list, it is the offensive linemen, because goodness gracious, we need some of them to come back, right? Baker being on that list, it stinks. It's not great, but I feel like you could still win the game if Baker's not in there against the Raiders. And, it just stinks, man. I'm trying to find a positive out of this. I'm trying to keep focused on all this. But, hey, man, at the end of the day, there's still a game on Saturday. There's a reason you play the game. And hopefully they play the game and they win the game. Or if need be, they move this thing to Tuesday. But honestly, do the Browns play on Monday? Yeah, the Browns, I think they have some flexibility with the Browns at least. I don't know what the Raiders schedule is like. Real quick, let me check the Raiders schedule. But I know with the Browns, right, if you move that game to Tuesday, it's not the biggest deal in the world, because the Browns would play Monday night the next week against Pittsburgh. So there is some flexibility there. Maybe you could move it to Monday night. The Raiders play on Sunday afternoon that day, so it might be a little unfair to the Raiders to move that thing to Tuesday, especially since they don't have a breakout, right? They're not having the issues right now the Cleveland Browns are. Again, this ain't like last year. We were talking about teams breaking protocol, though. So we'll see there. I don't know how much they want to move these games, considering that we're coming up on the Christmas holiday. But that's where we're at. Also, one thing to note, I know people are worried about if the Browns have to forfeit this game. I believe every team is above that minimum threshold of vaccinated players to where they don't have to worry about, like, the game being forfeited. Because if that were the case, right, I think we would know. That would be widely reported. But I think right now, we're just talking about what they can do when they eventually play this game, or when this game gets played. Hopefully they're able to play this game, and hopefully they can win this game. But, it stinks. It absolutely stinks. But that's my thoughts on this game. Let me know your thoughts on this game down below in the comment section. Let's keep about football. But that's it for this week's show or this video. Have a good day. Have a great night.